We already started? No.
Nope, we're waiting
All
for you
right.
to call to order.
So let's call to order. Could you please take roll, please? Alderman Barber.
Here.
Steve Bobowski here. Rob is not.
Excused, he has COVID.
Steve Smith.
He is excused also, he is sick.
Mike Soto.
He is no longer a member, I need to take that
All
off
right. And Tim.
of there. Quorum.
Pledge, we got pledge allegiance, please. All right. Everybody set? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. All right. So now let's close that section. Then next. Presentation of Due North Media's audience extension, a targeted online marketing tool.
She is not here, so we'll
Okay,
skip
so
that.
Table that.
All right, let's table that.
Table that.
All right, let's table that. Presentation of the Multi-View, a B2B digital marketing tool.
Okay, here comes Austin.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
We're doing great, thank you. How are you?
Can you hear us?
Hang on.
Can you guys
Hang on.
hear me still?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Austin? Austin?
Hey Kelly, I think you guys might be on.
Austin?
Hey Kelly, I think you guys might be on mute.
Yeah, I know.
Over there. Click on that other microphone.
Okay, is that better?
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Apologies for the reverb.
Say, hey, Austin, is that a virtual background, or is that really what y'all's place looks like?
That's a virtual background, but that is one of our offices. The office in DC, it does look like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some deer heads behind me, so I never know if
Yeah.
I see the bear rug.
there actually is. Hang on. Funny enough, I know my time is very limited here, but since you mentioned that, shoot, hang on. I do have a bear rug on my wall. How do I even take this off? Shoot.
That's all right. We'll take your word.
You just have to trust me. I do have a bear rug. I actually have 2 bear rugs in my room. But thank you all. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? I know we're pretty limited, but any particular questions for me before I hop right into it?
Why don't you hop right into it? Some of us aren't real familiar with what you guys do, so start from the beginning if you don't mind. You guys do, so start from the beginning if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do my best to kind of go through this rather quickly, but feel free to interrupt me. Some of this stuff you guys have probably already heard. Some of you probably already seen. But Multiview as a company, really who we are and what we specialize in is really niche B2B oriented marketing, and we're extremely proud of the fact that we offer a turnkey solution to do basically everything related to digital marketing for our customers, so whether it be search engine marketing, programmatic display, programmatic video, content, email programs, or even association direct placements. We've been in business 20 plus years, 1,000 plus association partners, 1 million plus. These are our 4 different locations. I'm in Dallas. It is hot here right now. We need a break from the heat, but Multiview is actually a premier Google partner. Only about 4% of agencies really get that designation, so it's something we're pretty proud of. A couple sections here in the middle I want to touch on. Number 1 is brand safety, meaning that your ads reaching site-long A+ rated content. But really the beauty of digital is the optimizations that are provided. So there's actually a team of people that will work directly with Callie, anyone else on your end, to make sure that your message and your business park or your opportunities are placed directly in front of the audiences and the industries that you want to reach. Minds and a dedicated account manager. This is a quick list of some of the economic development organizations that we've worked with. I think it's in the span of 80 to 90, give or take a little bit. But the one thing that's extremely unique about Multiview is really some of the association-oriented data that we have. information on reaching C-suite executives, some particular site selectors, but then also as well, some of those individuals in the corporate real estate space. But really, what Callie and I have chatted about before and what we're set to talk about today is really what we call programmatic display and programmatic video. And know that is really what we call programmatic display and programmatic video. And know that was a whirlwind of info, probably the fastest I've ever gone through that in a short amount of time. But any questions for me so far?
Yeah, so are you guys specialists in economic development commissions? Is that kind of one of your strengths, or is that just something as a throw in?
Yeah, so that's actually one of my strengths. That's something that I focus in on. But in terms of, our core specialty, our bread and butter, it's B2B. And this really makes a whole lot of sense for us to work with more economic development organizations or even cities. We work with more economic development organizations or even cities. We work with a whole heck of a lot of CVBs. We actually work with a whole lot of economic development organizations. But I think to really answer your question, maybe even more so, we're a company that specializes in digital. We are not a magazine publisher that decided to start doing digital a couple weeks ago. This is something that we've built the business on and something that we continue to do. We're the leader in the space for a lot of multiple reasons. But to answer your question, our bread and butter is B2B and anything digital marketing oriented.
Okay, so are you guys capable of identifying people in the greater Milwaukee area and target those kind of folks?
Yes, sir, but also above and beyond that. So maybe to answer your question a little bit further, I'll talk about a couple of these tactics, but feel free to keep throwing me great questions or interrupt at any moment. But one of those main tactics I'd really like to chat with you guys about is what we call to really reach C-suite executives, site selectors, corporate real estate professionals, developers within very particular niches or industries. But one of those main ones is really marketing to people based around their behaviors. So we can actually see and find people who are looking for business perks within Wisconsin. We can see what they're sharing on their social media profiles, links. The thing about this tactic is, yes, it does exactly what you mentioned, which is search-oriented, but it's really more focusing on behaviors. We want to find people who are acting and behaving like they're looking and relocating or expanding their business, and then marketing directly to those users or those individuals who are particularly consultants and working on behalf of a client.
Gotcha. So it came into the greater Milwaukee area. Could they get a message from Franklin saying, hey, come look at us too?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's pretty easy. So that's location-oriented targeting. So there's a lot of different unique things about location-oriented targeting, but one of the big ones is targeting very specific locations or events. So we can draw a digital picket fence around a trade show and reach those exact users during the time of that event. We can reach digital attendees as well. So we can find people who are searching for frequently asked questions, online registration, but also even more so to your point, if we want to reach site selectors who are looking and are maybe showing interest in some of your competitors or other cities, in the Milwaukee area, we can actively market to those users as well to make sure that they should be considering you with a very particular message.
All right. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. Another thing about programmatic display is we can reach very specific personas. So the unique thing about this, in my opinion, is we're leveraging the data that we have in-house, but also utilizing third-party data sources to actively market to someone based off of their job title, their industry, job level, industry growth, things they're liking, saying, doing on social media, maybe the revenue of that business, goods they're producing, or even their specific location. The thing about this tactic that I really like for economic development organizations is that there's some cities, one of the main challenges that they face is they don't feel like site selectors know who they are, where they're located, and what they have to offer. Really, the point of this slide in persona-oriented marketing is reaching those individuals at the top of the funnel who are unaware of your city, your business park, and anything else you want those individuals to see.
So when you say the data available, census data, things like that, what are you using for your data?
No, sir. So some of that is proprietary. So based off of our association partnerships, so we have quite a few associations in the manufacturing, plastic. The amount of associations that we have, it's really hard for me to keep up with because some are incredibly niche and incredibly used in the marketplace today. Blue Kai, Nielsen, Lotame, none of those names sound familiar, and they wouldn't sound familiar to me unless I was sitting in this position. But those companies are built on gathering information on you, me, and everyone else sitting in that boardroom. If you have a cell phone, if you have an internet-connected device, your information is being gathered, stored. If you have an internet-connected device, your information is being gathered, stored, packaged, and sold in some way, shape, or form.
Gotcha. It makes us feel very secure, all of us.
Yeah, whether we like it or not.
And that was the point of that.
Yeah, good. Thank you. It worked.
Another couple things that I think would be. Another couple things that I think would be. Sorry, go ahead.
I just turned off my cell phone.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, okay.
And I'm sitting there.
We can also do company targeting. So, what specific businesses you guys are most interested in tracking to the area. And that might sound a little bit different, but we work with some EDCs who say, hey, most of our businesses or most of our employers in the area are, aerospace manufacturing. We're looking for businesses that can provide the components or the parts to, these areas. Also try to increase your tax base by marketing to those other businesses that might be relevant. Or it might make sense to market to because of the employers that are already within your backyard. But company targeting is something we find to be incredibly beneficial if we can get together, brainstorm, and understand those very specific businesses on your end.
Take us back, in our Franklin Business Park or associates. You could then talk about companies, and let's just throw Alice Roller out there. Companies that do business with them or might do business with them that we could go out and pursue, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
And how
minded businesses,
Yeah.
or what do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Yeah. So on these campaigns and the way these campaigns are built out is you actually have a team of people who are dedicated to your account. So account managers are directors and data experts. Mm-hmm. These data experts are key. We usually don't let them hop on the phone too much, but they're really the brains of these campaigns, the science of the computers. But they hop on the phone and they work directly with account managers to understand the businesses that are most important to you within your backyard, and then we find other extremely similar businesses that would make sense to market to, present that information to you, and if it seems relevant, target those C-suite executives, maybe VPs of operations. Target those C-suite executives, maybe VPs of operations. Anyone else who's at the top of the food chain that you guys are most interested in marketing to, and it would make sense to market to.
So then you market by sending them emails. What do? Or do you text message them? What?
Neither, actually. So it's in the form of programmatic display. So programmatic display, going back, it's in the form of programmatic display. So programmatic display, going back to this slide, it's very similar. Let me pull up a quick example. Give me a minute here. If you were to go to, let's see if I can get this web browser to work with me here. I'm just pulling up a quick website here. So really what we would be doing is we would be placing your specific display ads directly in front of those exact individuals on websites like this. So it would actually be a web placement on a platform like CNN. We have access to roughly 60% of the internet. There's some people that like to tout their capabilities to do this type of advertising, but their reach is extremely narrow in terms of data and websites. Really what we're doing here is we're reaching those exact users when they're browsing the internet. So if it's CNN, if it's ESPN, Fox don't have access to the other 40%. Those web pages don't allow advertising, website, your city website or our website. So does that answer your question in terms of how we're reaching those exact users?
Almost. So if any one of us here in the room went on and we happen to be part of that target, we would see perhaps advertising to one of us. Is that how that works?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Wow. That's pretty cool, I guess.
Now you
Cool,
know why I
scary.
couldn't explain it, and I said, Austin's got to
Yeah,
come in because
yeah.
I can't explain this. I get it, but I can't
No, I
explain
mean, I
it.
think, yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? All right, okay. And you're going to tell us about
It-
how much, that ad right there, let's say I was interested in, what does that cost per impression, per person kind of thing?
It varies. Not to dance around your question, but it usually varies
Yeah.
because we have display-oriented advertising, but I also want to chat a little bit about video afterwards.
Yeah.
but per impression, it's really going to vary depending on industry, and that's where we can all, or you guys can view it at your leisure as well.
Rough, I guess. What is it generally? Is it $2 an impression, or 5, or 50 cents? Rough number.
So it's usually $16 per 1,000 impressions, give or take a little bit. 1,000 impressions, give or take a little bit. Those numbers can be skewed one way or another. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing about this that I think, I have to kind of connect here is if you think about these websites like CNN or these publishers, they want to make money off of the people that are coming to the website. So I know it may sound a little crazy that this of the people that are coming to the website. So I know it may sound a little crazy that this is happening, but they're trying to make money off of the visitors, and if the visitors are correct and for someone willing to buy that ad placement like Multiview on your behalf, then I think it makes a whole lot of sense. Another couple quick things, we can look at your data, so the data that people based around that data. So those exact email addresses, let's say it's joe@apple.com or joe@cbre.com. When that user goes to ESPN or CNN, he'll actually see your very specific ad on that website promoting Franklin. So it's really connecting that email address and that unique device ID, which is that IP address of that mobile.
Okay, so now if we go to our Franklin Business Park and we asked all of those members for who they do business with, we could marry that up with your database so that anytime they came on, the message would be, come move to Franklin so you're closer to your business associates, that kind of thing?
We'd pick them up.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
exactly. But we can also build upon that email list, essentially, if it makes sense. And what I mean by that is we can find other similar type businesses relevant to those email addresses to really continue to market to those people or market to similar people. It's really to really continue to market to those people or market to similar people. It's really called lookalike-based targeting.
Got it.
Yes, sir. Another thing I'd really recommend is what we call programmatic video. We take your videos, cut them down into 6, 15, and 30-second ad spots, and when site selectors go to YouTube to watch funny cat videos, because I promise everyone watches cat videos, they will see your ad placement prior to getting to watch that cat video. And if anyone's a dog fan, let's say it's a funny dog video. But the point is, we can reach your audience all across the internet on whatever media players are going to watch very specific videos.
Wow.
Yes, sir. To make Callie's life easy, create very specific ads depending on where someone is at within the buyer journey or that buyer funnel. But I think even more so, if someone's in the aerospace, if they're in the logistics or, they're in the plastic space, they will most likely see an ad that's relevant to them. It's not just a come one, come all ad campaign for the city of Franklin. Business Park, the things that make you guys unique. But also, I think even more so, trying to speak directly to those users based around the industries that they're in. If they're a CFO, most CFOs are very specific to how much money can we save by moving to this location. We can, in certain cases, place messaging within these ads, tracking that particular CFO or whatever job title that individual may be. So, last couple quick things. There's a dashboard you guys can log into to really view this campaign in its entirety. One of the big things is really the optimization. So this isn't a set it and forget it campaign. As I mentioned, there's a team of people that work on your behalf each and every month to understand what's working and what's not working. But also the tracking that is provided through these campaigns is, I think, probably one of the things that we do best, to actually show you a return on investment and actually show you the exact users or who are actually showing interest in what you have to provide and filling out forms on your web pages, or the contact us form fill or something similar. But also we can provide you information on all of your website traffic. So things such as company name, phone number, location, industry, visitor view. What I like to call it is Google Analytics on steroid traffic, to where you guys can do that at your leisure as well. Everyone can have a login if they're interested, but it's just some in-depth information on your traffic.
You had on at the very beginning a bunch of different EDCs that you guys were working on or with. Do you have any success stories as how and what they're doing smart, or maybe what they're not doing smart? That would be beneficial to us. And you mentioned a great, which is return on investment. How much are they spending and how much are they getting back?
So are you asking if I have one specific
No, just
economic
something.
development?
Yeah, pick one of those and just say, hey, this is what they're doing. And,
Specific
no, just
economic
something. Yeah,
development?
yeah, pick one of those and just say, hey, this is what they're doing. And, you know, as an example, what we might consider.
Yeah, good question. It sucks because none of these are even my clients. Terrible example, but I'm going to be honest with you. So one specific example of probably one of my best clients. Is the city of Grand Junction. They're in Colorado. They're, I think they're on the front range of the Rocky Mountains. But I think to answer your question, they're spending somewhere in the neighborhood of roughly $30,000 over the duration of a full year. And I think the thing that they're probably doing best, or the reason why they continue to work with us, I think it's been about 6 years now, is they understand that, being a city and, trying to continue to market themselves, they only have so much time in a day. And that's why I think a lot of people hire us everyone only has so much bandwidth, I don't care who you are, to do the different marketing tasks that you have to do. So I think the reason why she continues to hire us and trust us is the fact that we run these campaigns and we run them incredibly well. In terms of direct return on investment, that's such a difficult question to answer because you guys understand the so I don't have an exact answer for you on direct ROI for that particular client because it's so difficult to answer.
But okay, so to use Grand Junction as the example, during this 6 years, how many new companies have they attracted? Do you have that number?
No, I don't have an exact number for you off the top of my head. On a day in, day out basis, we show direct phone calls and direct form fills. But in terms of actual opportunities landed or businesses who are actually, calling Grand Junction home now, I don't even know if she necessarily has that information. Really what we're trying to do as much as possible is we're trying to put the water in front of the horse. We can't necessarily make it drink. But, as I mentioned, really getting those direct users to, call Grand Junction or that city home is really difficult to track throughout that process because of how long that usually takes.
Yeah, okay, well, you had mentioned ROI, and to me it was like, wow, that'd be great, because if you could take, for instance, a 10 to 1, 20 to 1 return on investment, I think we'd be happy to go to the city council and say, hey, we need more, that kind of deal. So is there any, do you think, if you were to look amongst the many you guys do, that might have an ROI that we could use to support our case?
Yeah, that's going to be difficult. I can definitely ask. It's going to be difficult. I can definitely ask because, one company can, bring 1,000 plus jobs or even 500 plus jobs. To provide you a specific number, I would probably end up guessing. But I can definitely do my best to come up with a couple different figures for some of these clients. Because some of their spends are incredibly large, some of their spends are a little bit smaller. But yeah, I can do my best to try to come up with some of that information for you for a particular client.
Yeah, I mean, if you had it, it would make our job easier to, convince people that this is a great use of the next $30,000 we have.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. I can see what I can come up with.
Part of the challenge is that this type of advertising is insidious. You don't necessarily know where it came from. It doesn't hit the top of your brain. If somebody said, where'd you hear about that? Oh, I don't know. You've been surfing on the internet, you start seeing City of Franklin, City of Franklin, City of Franklin. You don't think about, and somebody says, well, what made you pick the City of Franklin? Well, I like a nice place.
Yeah, except that some of those ads have the opportunity for inquiries, which would say, if you're interested in more information, click here, which would be a nice little track back which says, guess what? Yeah, somewhere along the line somebody clicked and that's how they came across. I mean, that's all.
So I think maybe we're confusing reporting and analytics with ROI. Is that we're confusing reporting and analytics with ROI. Is that a possibility, Austin, or are we just getting too far ahead of you here?
I want to use both your points just really quickly. I think you guys are both correct. If a user actually clicks on our ad or comes to your website because we've been marketing to them, we can actually track those users back directly to your website. But to further to your point, Callie, we've had clients who want to target business owners or C-suite executives who are vacationing in their town. especially beach towns, to try to get those users to reach out to the EDC and, we can provide you some very specific information to show you engagement on the website, because at the end of the day, what we want to do as much as possible is we want to make Callie's phone ring, and we want to get direct form fills for her of direct opportunities where she can actually work those RFPs, work those individuals, and try to get her foot in the door as much as possible, but yet form fills, those phone calls, or anything similar to Callie.
And it would seem to me, Austin, you'd also be able to identify if, that individual saw an impression somewhere, sometime, because they would have gone to that page, and on that page was an ad.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yes, I think you could track it. That's one of the beauties. Yes, I think you could track it. That's one of the beauties of digital. We should be able to see if they've seen it. Now, does that mean that's why they bought it? It doesn't matter. But if they saw it, well, that to me says, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that makes my job incredibly easy, because if I was selling print advertising, I would go hungry. I don't believe in it. I don't think anyone. If I was selling print advertising, I would go hungry. I don't believe in it. I don't think anyone reads it anymore. Yes, there are some areas that still make sense, but I think there's a reason why you see these print-oriented companies trying to move toward digital and stick around, because it's very difficult to sell print-based oriented marketing now when there is no analytics, there is no reporting to opportunities.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I know I'm out of time. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me by email or phone. But yeah, thank you again, and you guys enjoy the rest of your city council meeting.
Austin, you had shared with me that there were a number of levels you could buy into, and you would get a certain different cost. Can you talk about the breakdown of the various packages and a la carte choices that you offer?
Of course. Yeah. No, totally. So this is actually a proposal I put together for Callie. I can give it over to everyone afterwards, but really
I still have it, Austin. I can send it on. I still have it. You don't have to send it to me again.
Okay, perfect. So really what we recommended was a 12-month campaign, 1.2 million display impressions, roughly 312 video impressions, and the recommendation was a total spend of $30,000, billed monthly $2,500. The recommendation was a total spend of $30,000, billed monthly $2,500. We do have some campaigns slightly smaller than that and slightly larger, but this was really, our recommendation based off of the phone call that I had with Callie.
How big is Grand Junction?
In terms of people,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I don't think they're very big. I think they're pretty small. They're in the middle of nowhere. They have beautiful scenery, but let me see. I'll give you a census. We have a lot of larger, roughly 4,500 people, 62,000. We have a lot of clients who are incredibly large, but I would say are small, and in a lot of cases even rural.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Of course.
So, Austin, at $2,500 a month, do you have to make a year-long commitment, or do you allow people to come in and out by the month, or?
Yeah, great question. So economic development and really just B2B in general, I wouldn't recommend doing a short duration campaign or a month by month campaign. Yes, we do ask for a long-term commitment. We do have some campaigns that are a little bit smaller in terms of overall price or overall duration. But if you look at the sales cycle duration, for your form of advertising, your form of sales process, if you'd like to call it that, it's really hard to show you direct return and direct results in a 1 month or a 2 month campaign. So to answer your question, we do have some smaller campaigns with 12 months as usual recommendation.
And do you offer a discount if it's paid up front for a year versus the $2,500 a month?
Sure, definitely, yeah. I don't know the exact discount.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and say yes, I'll chat with my boss and see what we can do, but I'm sure, yes.
Can you send more detailed breakout in case I find we're in budget time right now? So it would just be good to kind of know, how we could get in on a year-long campaign at a lesser price and what we might get for a larger price as well.
Of course, yes. Yeah, no, definitely. I can send over a couple.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Didn't mean to cut you off and just hop off the meeting there, but I wanted to make sure I was respectful of your time. I know you guys probably have plenty of other things that are much more important than this than to get to. But I will get those options over, and if anyone has any questions, you are all more than welcome to reach out to Joe.
Yeah, no, we got it. Thank you.
That's a terrible one. Okay, guys, I really appreciate the time.
Deal.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Austin.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. And I'll shut this one down too. Yay. That presentation that he had sent me. But I will send the electronic one. No, it's thick.
Oh,
All I
Yeah.
got was one
Yeah,
page.
I-
No, it was at a meeting several months ago.
Oh.
And then at that meeting, you guys didn't make any decisions. And then the following month, you decided to do Heartland Real Estate. You decided to do Heartland Real Estate and Expansion Journal. And then these two that were supposed to be tonight were both more complicated, and you couldn't really make a decision without having somebody kind of explain it and walk you through it. So I will now follow up with the materials, and hopefully they'll make more sense to you now.
Well, before we jump off this, impressions, thoughts, what do you guys think of this presentation?
I guess my concern is, is he going to be able to, really target the people that we want to target? I don't know who we even want to target in a lot of ways, so I'd be waiting to see what he can pull through to say these people are connected to here, connected to here, connected to here, connected to here, to see if that works.
Which was kind of the question, which says, okay, can you give us some examples of things you've done for other people? Which to me would say,
Well,
okay.
I'd like to see it specifically for us.
I can make follow-up calls. I know people at the MEDC, and so I'll ask them for references, and I'll make some calls and make sure that it's legit.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about references at the moment. I'd be more interested, so what are they doing at Grand Junction? Who are they targeting? So again, to your point, maybe we have different businesses, but here's how they targeted those, and then how could we extrapolate that to another? Okay.
Yeah.
Your example about Crohn's,
Yeah.
who are all the people they do business with?
Yep.
Can we send something out to them saying, hey, we're here, if you're suppliers, maybe you're interested in doing something, and those kind of links.
So that would be kind of interesting. So Crohn's, could they actually pull up something and say, yeah, okay.
But you wouldn't even have to interact with Crohn's.
no.
Where do people who make liquid food, where are their associations, what are their interests, how are they using the internet for business? And they've got all kinds of ways to do it. It's just, it's a scientific proprietary way of combing the internet that is way beyond me, but
I think all of us have seen that sort of,
Something today because it came up how to run your CPA firm better. You know,
right, and you
it's
wonder, how do they
because-
know?
Did they move
Well,
to
it's
Grand
'cause I'm
Junction?
certain-
But it's,
Not quite,
No.
but
Yeah.
no, I mean it's just like constantly searching for tax related, so
and
it's
Alexa listens
gathering.
too. That you can talk about something,
I
a
mean,
new
everybody
product that
gets all
someone has,
bent
and suddenly
about
you're getting
that,
all these ads for it.
that people are watching.
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
What the
same
hell
thing.
do you expect? I mean,
Yeah.
you log onto your computer, you download Google or it doesn't matter who, Firefox, whatever. Google or it doesn't matter who, Firefox, whatever. You download a browser and you're doing that for nothing. So somebody built that, developed it, set it all up. This is America. It's capitalism. So don't get all bent because somebody's watching what don't get all bent because somebody's watching what you're doing because you're using it for free.
They said we still have privacy.
No,
Sure.
we do not. Not if you're using something for free. If you want to go build your own browser, go right ahead.
I think we can get it for cheaper than what they're offering it.
Well,
I think that's
that's
their
what I
rack
was
rate.
wondering.
We did the arc of ads for Site Selection Magazine. I did get a couple of leads out of it, but everybody and their brother who was selling something found me, and
Sure.
he's one of them. So he's using Site Selection to find people like me
Right.
who are buying ads. So what I like about this is there's no backtrack. There's our ads on some, because it might not say Franklin, Wisconsin. It might say, hey, come produce your food over in, southeast Wisconsin, right here off of 94 on Elm Road. Look at this great park. And, it would really be nice to have tools that don't lead back to me being hammered by salespeople. To have tools that don't lead back to me being hammered by salespeople all the time.
Yeah.
Kelly, do you think also that this kind of project, if you will, might also appeal to the Tourism Commission?
I had talked to Carrie about it, and she said that you guys were not ready yet. To Carrie about it, and she said that you guys were not ready yet. But yes,
I'm not sure if she brought that to the Tourism Commission.
I absolutely think that this could be something we could share,
I think so.
especially if it's around the spheres of industry development that are tourism based, like hotels and restaurants. And to decide if you have no interest in doing that at all, then maybe if Tourism Commission wanted to buy in as well, then they would offer a discount to both groups.
Or the Tourism Commission just helps to fund it, basically.
I will say this much, because this is the one thing that bugged me, but it doesn't else we deal with. The whole ROI thing, it's just, it's a sales.
Yeah,
trick.
he shouldn't have used that term
It's
because he wasn't using it correctly.
Correct, that's exactly
Yeah, and
right.
you were wise to
Which
call him out
yeah,
on that.
it's exactly right. But
Well,
what they do is they redefine ROI.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about it, but it doesn't truly equate to return on investment in dollars.
Yeah.
And so that's why he was stumbling around for what?
Yeah,
5
he did,
minutes.
which I could have explained it better than him, in the sense that if the impression, and let's just suppose you go on site, they should be able to track that, and I think he can do that. Okay, so that you saw an impression as opposed to you just randomly came across it. So there should be able to track it and find out if there was some sort of link. I love the accountability that digital provides. And it's trackable, it's, where we got those impressions, how many they saw, did he go back and click it once, twice, 3 times? There's different, numbers. If you check, I don't know if it's 5 or something, well, you're really interested in 4, etc., which to you would be wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
this guy came 6 times, well, you ought to call him.
Which shiny baubles get clicked on the most?
Yeah.
The ones that say Franklin with the flying... Which shiny baubles get clicked on the most?
Yeah.
The ones that say Franklin with the flying pennant, or the ones that show
Yeah. So net, I think this is probably money well spent, and I don't know if it's with that group, but the fact is, I think you can track it. I think it's one of those kinds of things that you can see what it does for you. The stuff we did in print, unfortunately, prints, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't track it as well.
We swung at it, and
Yeah.
it was okay. It's probably not something that I'm looking to do in 2022. It's time to try something different, I think.
Yeah. So, I think this is, now, do we have $30,000 to spend?
Budget hasn't been approved, but if I can sit down with the mayor and say, because he really pretty much sets the budget.
Yeah.
And I had added a little bit. I had moved some money from different line items. I only went up by like $7,000 for the whole year or something like that. But I put a ton of money for these types of products, and with my note that we've got, I don't remember what I said, $20,000 to $40,000 in potential,
Well, again,
No.
so let's suppose you just got one good lead that somebody went ahead and wanted to go ahead and relocate here. It probably pays for itself.
Exactly.
And it means, we don't have to hire 4 more. It pays for itself.
Exactly.
And it means, we don't have to hire 4 more Callies, and so it becomes an efficient way to use things.
Would be a great problem.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. But again, the other part is then you ought to take a look at whether you do it, by, the impressions versus the video. There's a high price premium on the video.
We may decide to.
On the video.
We may decide to just
Yeah.
go with the
You might. So again, but I think
maybe a
this is-
6-month campaign instead of a year.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what packaging he comes back with.
I thought it was pretty solid. Because I've worked in some of these, and I've got agencies that I work with that do digital, but they can target and I'll look at, so for instance, if you wanted to target anybody who went into another firm, an accounting firm, you could identify them as they walked in and walked out, and they could get an ad from you. So again, and I'm thinking, really, I asked them a question the other day, one of my agencies said, seriously, so like Sandler, they do sales training. So anybody who went into the class of that, I could send them an ad as they came out of class. What the heck? You go, that's
We could
wrong.
put geofences around.
But it's that good, guys. So I mean, if they can do that, we could do that, and I do think it's the next, Jen, we should be looking at it. I think this is solid.
Now, due north's audience extension, wanted to have both those presentations before you guys made a
Okay.
decision. However, I would be on board with you just if you wanted to just pick multi-view and then still have a presentation from Brandy next month, and then maybe that's what you want to tee up for 2023 and try something different.
Where is due north from? Where are they based?
Well, I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
I mean, these places are everywhere. I don't pay much attention to where they're located.
Okay, I was just curious.
So,
They're due north.
This guy,
Yeah.
Just kidding.
They're somewhere.
this guy contacted you.
yes.
Okay.
And
Now,
he identified
actually-
because of a print ad, right?
I think so, but
Because of a print ad, right?
I think so, but when I was trying to find something on my phone while I was getting all this stuff going, it looks like a different person from that company reached out to Aaron Hertzberg when he was here.
Ah, okay.
So I think that they've been trying to target the city of Franklin for a long time. So it's possible that they just saw a new name for Franklin and decided to take another swing. Long time. So it's possible that they just saw a new name for Franklin and decided to take another swing. So it might not have been the fact that we advertised, just that was the way they found out that there was somebody new there.
Well, then let's ask them. It's real simple. How'd you find us?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it would be kind of interesting. Oh no, I got you from the print.
He may have told me, and maybe that's why I'm
Oh, then it
so
works.
solid that that's
Kind of interesting. Oh no, I got you from the print.
it. He may have told me, and maybe that's why I'm
Oh, then
so
it works.
solid that that's it. I'll ask
Well, let
him.
me ask you the real dumb question of the night. We spent $30,000. Do we have enough developable land to support it? And how does that tie in?
Not only that, but we've got.
How does that tie in?
Not only that, but we've got two developers, maybe three. One for sure. I mean, we've got over 2 million in square footage proposed in Tidate alone. The business park is only 420 acres, and they have 125-ish businesses in the park. We have way more than 425 acres, developable acres in Tidate. So eventually, when that's built out, it will be bigger than the business park, and there will be more buildings in it. It just is taking a lot longer because we don't have a master developer, and all of the public infrastructure work happens and creates tax increment that we can use to pay down the debt of doing those public infrastructure projects. Then that's how we move
That's my
forward.
return on investment. We invest 30. What are we going to eventually net out of this? whole
Yeah,
thing?
right, exactly. To me, so again, it has to be a certain number of leads, and ultimately how many we translate into somebody relocating here. Yeah, but I mean, I think that, which is a little stretch, is to really, that is a true return on investment.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested in how many leads do we generate that get us somewhere.
And I think the measurables, which are very similar to if you've ever run a Facebook page, you can see all the analytics. You can see the likes and page. You can see all the analytics. You can see the likes and dislikes when they happen. You can see how long people stay. You can see how many times they click. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of insights that you can get. You can't directly extrapolate that into action, but you can get a really solid idea of how much exposure you're getting and what types of things people are liking and what they're responding to. And so I think that they'll use the Facebook like analytics and Google Analytics to try to help us target better. And maybe if we don't get the leads, we at least can figure out, we're informed about who's interested in us.
Yeah.
So if council is willing to let the EDC look at different ways of trying to get development to happen in the city, and you guys are willing to try different things, I think eventually something is going to be the successful formula, and we just haven't found it yet. I really like this
And I
tool.
don't mean, yeah, I do too. I think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
the right guys, but it's still a great tool.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're the right guys either, but honestly, I don't know how to vet finding one that's better. And this one is motivated. They've been trying to work with the city for years. They have partners whose names I recognize. They've been trying to work with the city for years. They have partners whose names I recognize. I worked for the MEDC, so it wouldn't be that hard for me to call somebody over there and find out.
Well, that's why I asked. I mean, if this is something they specialize in, it puts them in, I mean, a lot of people do digital marketing, but if these guys are EDC really focused on, but if these guys are EDC really focused on. Give us case studies, how you did it, what you did, etc., and let's be smart on somebody else's.
Yeah, it's like G to C or G to B instead of B to B, government to business. But yeah, I will ask for some references, and I'll call and ask them what they did with their campaigns, and all those communication to everyone. If you want me to put this on the agenda for September for you to make a final decision on whether you'd like to move forward or not. And then I will ask Brandy if she wants to come back and do her presentation in September as well. So,
And meanwhile, there will still be money in the budget that you're presenting.
per meeting, I will know how much I have.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I will sit down and talk to the mayor and let him know that you guys have an interest in this and that this program alone could be $30,000. And is he going to approve the budget so that we can do something like this? And then once I am informed, then I'll know. And also, if Austin comes informed, then I'll know. And also, if Austin comes back and says, well, we'll give you a $20,000 package for your first year, but then you got to come back and do 30. Or we'll let you do a 6-month package, and if you pay it in advance, you'll get one price. Or I don't know what he's going to come back with, but you'll get one price. Or I don't know what he's going to come back with, but I can dicker with him. I have no problem negotiating. So
Who can the mayor call at this company to ask questions?
probably Austin.
Austin?
Yeah, I don't know that the mayor would want to make any calls, but I mean, when I share it with him, if he does, he'll let me know, and I'll provide him contact info.
The only other question is there anybody in the greater Wisconsin, Milwaukee area that does this? I don't know if that's provincial, but
I haven't seen it anywhere.
I haven't either. but
He
that's-
said the town of Woodstock is out of Illinois.
Anyhow, I think push, yeah. Ask
Okay.
for 30. See what you get.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
There's a lot of unknowns at this point, but if your response had been like, meh, I would have dropped it and, wouldn't have pursued a bunch of other activities that now I feel comfortable.
Buy, sell, and trade, and I'm gonna use them.
Have you emptied your house out yet? Every time I turn around in my notifications, Mike Barber selling something else. Okay.
All right. That said, moving on. The minutes for the 20. What did we got here? The
Now, in August.
May
Was
and-
there a correction to that one or something?
No, I just put it in there thinking, and because we didn't have meetings in June and July, but you approved it in May, and I just forgot when I was putting these together.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the
So moved.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous consent.
Yeah, all right, it's gotcha. All right. The South Suburban Chamber, we've had a number of events recently, and we've got the big celebration coming up here on the weekend of the 28th. I'm not sure how many people have signed up. I'm sorry, the 28th. I'm not sure how many people have signed up. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm thinking almost 50 at this point. And again, it's over here at the park, so that's it. Yeah, Croatian Park. Considering, I think that's probably pretty good. And the fact that, when all's said and done, it's a slow roll. And the fact that, when all's said and done, it's a slow roll and gradual motion. So to that standpoint, I think most people are pleased at the moment that things are moving. Okay, coming out of a grinding nothing. So to that standpoint, little at a time.
Different ideas.
Yeah, to that standpoint, little at a time.
Different ideas.
Yeah, it is.
And it came out of the economic development budget, but the city of Franklin is sponsoring the event at the same level as the city of Oak Creek. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have a banner there. I don't know if I'll be attending, but but I'll definitely have a banner there for them to put up. So,
Oh, very good. Thank you.
yeah, I'm not sure Oak Creek's going to be there either. Doug and I hadn't touched base about it in a while, but
You know
I'll
what?
try to do what he does.
So I'll give Doug a call, and I'll also call Alyssa tomorrow.
City of Oak Creek.
Oh, well,
Now, if Oak Creek has a table, then I will probably have to find a way to have a table. But if they're just going to be unattended and just have a banner up, then that's probably what I will do as well. So I need to just call them and find out. I don't see any point in me sitting there all day.
All day.
But you know what I
But
mean.
yes,
I mean,
I do, yeah.
I'm not selling anything. I don't
Right,
have anything to.
Oh, no, I get it. I'm just saying, I didn't even know they had tables. I didn't know this.
I didn't either, so, but I'll find out.
Maybe I
Which one I'm gonna call
misunderstood.
Doug and say, hey, we really, we got tables. Oh, nice, go, I'll get back to you.
Will you be inviting the two mayors? Okay, good.
But, you know.
And there'll be a program of some sort where they can say a few words, or?
We got 8 free tickets, and I sent it out twice to my elected officials. And one of them, she had already bought tickets for her and her husband, and nobody else responded. So I've got 8 tickets. So
Okay.
ask the department heads tomorrow if anybody wants to attend.
Got it, okay. Thank you. So now then, the next item on is appointment to the UDO rewrite.
We white.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys had indicated that you wanted to support the planning department in improving some of the development process, and the first step in that very long journey is updating the Unified Development Ordinance codes,
Right.
which is all of the rules around what you can put where and when and all. Barb has graciously accepted the opportunity to serve on the rewrite committee. But Thursday there are 3 meetings. The one at 1 o'clock is for the task force. It's only going to meet a handful of times with the consultant, Halcyon Levine. And then at 3 o'clock, it's department heads and anybody else who is a stakeholder who would like to attend. So that could be you guys. Or there's another one at 6 o'clock. So Thursday, and you don't have to RSVP, you can just 6 o'clock. So Thursday, and you don't have to RSVP, you can just come. Both of those meetings are upstairs. One's in the council chambers, one's in the hearing room. I don't remember which is which, but if you wander around, you'll pretty much figure out where you need to be. This Thursday.
It's at 6 o'clock and.
3 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
This
Each be
Thursday.
this Thursday.
It's at 6 o'clock and.
3 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
3 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
I think the 6 o'clock is a public meeting, correct? For
It's
Yes.
a council meeting.
anyone.
Thursday is a council meeting?
Yeah.
I know Sandy sent it out, but I didn't think it was a council meeting. But
I think
I think the one at 3 o'clock is your. Sandy sent it out, but I didn't think it was a council meeting. But I think the one at 3 o'clock is your council meeting, and 6 o'clock is the public. But either way, you guys can come to either one of them.
Yeah.
The one I know I have to be here at 3. That was what was initially set up. But then I thought I saw something from Sandy, but I'm not sure if that was an open-ended or if that was where we'd have to act on something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she sent it out for your council meeting at 3 or the
I got
public
both.
meeting at 6.
I got both.
So
Oh,
doesn't really matter.
No.
But you can go, and the public piece is where they're going to start collecting. Yes.
All right, congratulations. Thank you, Barb.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Okay. All right, let's talk about our business appreciation celebration. We have a date set for that, yes?
October 14th, and just so you all know, I've been trying to coordinate going 78, and my sister, and between our busy schedules, I am flying out after the business appreciation celebration that night.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I thought for instance you were going to say, well, I'm going to be in Vegas. Well, okay.
No. I was
Right.
trying to work around it.
Yeah.
And out, so we are at Tuckaway.
Oh, we
So
did go Tuckaway.
Yep, we did go to Tuckaway. When I talked to the mayor, he really wanted it to be
He was
there.
pretty strong on
He
that.
liked it
Yeah,
there.
okay.
So,
Mhm.
and they had availability, and so we're in, and we're going to do your mashed potato bar for you this year, Alderman Barber.
Nice, okay.
Or was it a
And
big?
I'll get you a potato bar.
Bring you a potato.
And then I did contact, I had a colleague in the marketing department at the Bucks, and they said no, because she took it to their PR and marketing department because it's preseason. And then I talked to Sean, who works for the Brewers, and
That'll be posted.
so I went ahead and went with my third thing, and I contacted the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation and their president and CEO, Missy Hughes. I've got a 99% yes, but not an absolute confirmation. So I'm hoping I'll get that tomorrow. When I do, I'll send a for us, Little Franklin, to get the head of the state's Economic Development Corporation to come and be our keynote speaker.
And
So
it's consistent with what we, are about, so I think it fits.
I'm super geeked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so as soon as I get that nailed down, I will put together a save the date and start. As soon as I get that nailed down, I will put together a save the date and start throwing it out there on Facebook and emails and website and all that good stuff. And then,
Congratulations. Well done.
That's good.
thank you.
I
You
mean,
get
that
a
was,
tape of the Yelich Grand Slam, and then Giannis maybe.
Thank you.
I
You
mean,
get
that
a
was,
tape of the Yelich Grand Slam, and then Giannis maybe, dunking a few just as an opener.
Perfect. You gonna bring the basketball hoop?
just gotta get it all there. You got it. Okay. Got it.
No, what about food?
We've got 5,000 to play with, so
Okay.
if we do sponsorship again this year, and we did, and because the way you know this, Alderman, but the rest of you probably don't. When you spend money out of a budget line item and you get any money back in, you don't get it back in that budget line item. It goes into the general fund. So I will spend every bit of that $5,000 on awards and mailings and all the other things that go into it. Cash bar last time we offered no drinks. We can continue to do that, or we can try to find a drink sponsor. I could break it down and have a coffee service sponsor. There's a number of different ways I can dice it. Bear Development was the one who sponsored it in 2019, and they just covered the food. And I had them just write the check directly to the Polish Center, so I didn't have to worry about.
Where the money
Because
is
if
going.
that $2,019 or whatever it was had come out of our budget, I would have only had $3,000 to spend on everything else, and I wouldn't have had enough money.
Yeah.
I would have only had $3,000 to spend on everything else, and I wouldn't have had enough money.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to do sponsorships again, that will go out with the save the date,
Yeah,
and
sure.
I will maybe invest a little bit with CarW or NIOP and see if they'll send something on my behalf, and see if there's anybody who wants to sponsor us in the
And then we
development
will not
community.
charge-
On my behalf, and see if there's anybody who wants to sponsor us in the
And then we will
development
not
community.
charge the attendees. Is that correct?
We need to charge something, because if you charge nothing and you know how it is,
Yeah.
you say, I got 120 people coming, and I didn't pay any money, I got
So-
something better to do. And
Exactly.
so we were thinking like 25, I think is what we did in 2000. I got something better to do. And
Exactly.
so we were thinking like 25, I think is what we did in 2019. We don't have to decide that tonight.
Okay.
But we could.
You could, but
You'll all good on 25? Make it easier for you. Then you're done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or, 30, 35, 40, I don't know.
Yeah, does that 25 reduce the amount of money go then?
That goes into the general fund
That'll just go
also.
into the big job. Okay.
But the idea behind that is not for us to be whole, but to make sure that people who say they're coming show
Are
up.
really going to show
Yeah.
up. Now, if we said that we wanted to use that money that's, paid to attend for,
A pot of money.
okay.
Bill, can we have a motion for 25?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
hang on, let me.
All approved?
Aye.
Oh, opposed?
Who moved?
Tim?
And then,
Second.
okay,
Barb, second?
okay.
All approved.
I think we need a motion for that.
Except that like a dessert bar. I want a big
Potato
potato
bar.
bar.
What else you want? Yeah, shrimp.
And an
well.
open bar.
So, okay, so.
I'm hungry. I'm
Are you gonna
sorry,
bring,
Tim.
like,
I
Tupperware
haven't had
with you so
supper.
that you
I'm
taste
sorry.
the
Yeah, that's right. Tupperware. I like it. Do we have the, Tupperware. I like it. Do we have the, we've got the categories, yes?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things we did is we went and interviewed. October's here, so we're gonna have to do some pretty quick stuff, yes?
Yeah, I think another thing that I did was I gave everybody on the EDC. I gave everybody on the EDC a listing of all the businesses in the city, I think. And then people just went through it and decided who they wanted to nominate. We can do a nomination process through our Facebook page, through the website. I didn't get much.
No.
Do a nomination process through our Facebook page, through the website. I didn't get much
No.
luck with those
We didn't have much.
options last time. But the new businesses of 2020, there's a lot of really, really cool ones. And I think it would be good if everyone, cool ones, and I think it would be good if everyone, and not necessarily tonight, but what I'd like to do is between this month and next month, decide who our nominees are, and then vote on the winners in closed session, so that I have time next meeting. And
Can you send a list of businesses?
yes,
Okay, so then the
Yes.
task is everybody look at them before
Yeah.
we come next week, or next month, and have your recommendations, and we'll go. So I agree, let's close the door and let's get it done.
yeah. So then,
Does the list fall into the categories?
Did you send the list or?
I don't remember what I did. I just saw a company list in there, and I think that's
okay,
what I
all right,
did.
okay.
Um,
I thought you sent one just recently.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, I'm glad you asked. No. The 4 categories for award are excellence in business large, excellence in business small, excellence in leadership, and excellence in innovation. I'm wondering with a new business award and pull from somebody from 2020.
They have to be in business at least 2 years?
No, we
1 year?
we never had. Yeah, we said 3 years. You're right. But if you set a new business award,
Well, yeah.
you could set your own criteria.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about the leadership, I mean, so I don't know that we want to not do that. And then innovation. Why did we like that one? Well, because somebody did something innovative.
Innovative health.
Nice, yeah, exactly. I don't know, I mean, if so you're
thinking
saying
drop
new business,
the-
what's the value?
Drop the innovative and do a new business.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
new business.
I mean,
That would be
so,
more welcoming to your businesses coming in.
which would be the value of doing new business, is saying, okay, you could get an award. So, new business is up to 3 years?
No,
Whatever you want to set. because
Well, I mean, hey, if you've been here over 3 years, you're not.
For
been
the
here.
other awards, it has to be 3 years. You have to be in business.
Mhm. Over 3 years, you're not.
For
been
the
here.
other awards, it has to be 3 years. You have to be in business. 3
Yeah,
years.
but I mean, if you're over 3 years,
You're
you
not
shouldn't
new
be new
anymore.
business.
Yeah, new business is the only one that has to be less than 3 years.
well, yeah, there you
That
go.
seems
How's
fair.
that?
Yeah,
And I'd like us to take a look at, and I'm not sure what category they would necessarily fall into, would be businesses that have weathered well the pandemic and all of the, everything that has gone with that.
So that could be an excellent. That would fall under excellence in
Excellence,
leadership.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms,
Yeah.
okay, but at first I'm going, but on the other hand, weathered well, I mean, we're just coming out of a pandemic, we're not even out of it.
I
So
know.
that's kind of an interesting category, which says, hey, little extra things, I don't know.
and
I don't know how we
maybe
would know, but
and maybe it's the health department, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Well, which one would
That's-
you want to give up instead? Because the mayor
Oh.
feels pretty strongly that 4 is too much already, but he's letting it ride. So if we add one
Okay.
more, I don't think he's going to be real happy.
I'd like to just see excellence and leadership be one,
It's excellence in leadership.
is one
Mhm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we got one, leadership. So, and when did
but
David Dahl last?
Small
Dahl last
business,
time?
large business, excellence in leadership, and then new business is what we were gonna do.
Does that
And
work
was
for
it-
everybody?
Was it David Dahl last
And
time?
leadership
I think so,
can't
yeah.
fit into
Okay,
Does that
and
work
was
for
it-
everybody?
Was it David Dahl last
and
time?
leadership
I think so, yeah.
can't fit into.
Okay, so that's the kind of guy we're talking about, somebody who, excellence in leadership. I don't think we should lose that one. I think you had the new business and cut out the other one. Done.
big, small, excellence in leadership, and then a new.
And new.
That works for me.
A new.
And new.
That works for me.
Mhm.
And then in your packet materials, there was some questions that had been asked in the past of the
Right.
businesses. So, how do you envision things happening between this meeting and the meeting in the middle of the room, so to speak, and then go into closed session and you guys will vote?
Yeah, I don't think we have, in fairness, I don't think we have time to go do interviews with everybody like we did, was it 2 years ago? I mean, I think
and
I
with the
did 8 of them.
pandemic, it's kind of hard to know what people were doing. But I think
We did it as teams, and I was.
Talk to.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's face it, you gotta make some calls and remember,
Sure.
we probably made 4 or 5 calls to get them one time, all that kind of stuff. And I just think
I
from the
never
time
did
it's
get
we're
ahold of some
close.
of them.
We had more time last time. We had
we
it in
did.
October,
We
were doing this in
did.
June.
Yeah, but losing June and July with
Yeah.
quorum issues, it put us a little
So
bit
this is
behind the
gonna
eight
have to
ball.
take effect.
I think would be really deserving, like, of the excellence in business small. I got a call from a person. She doesn't live in Franklin, But she was desperate. She'd been having drain tile problems for years with her house, and it was wet, it was wet, it was wet. And then a Franklin company came in and fixed her problem. And she couldn't speak. Then she did. And a couple months went by, and then I had an issue, and I needed some help. And the mayor said, call Castleman. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. This lady who doesn't even live in Franklin called the Franklin economic developer to tell her how pleased she was with her service. So, tell her how pleased she was with her service. So, I'm going to throw a few into the mix too. And if you all just want to send your suggestions to me, then I'll eliminate any duplicates, and I'll try to bucket them if you didn't already do that for me. But send them directly to me, and then at the meeting next month, if you didn't already do that for me, but send them directly to me, and then at the meeting next month, we'll go over them. And if you don't feel prepared to make a choice, we can always wait a few days and have another special meeting.
To that though, can you send us the buckets of the?
Yes.
So, come prepared. If you can send us that, folks, we should.
Just the recap of who's gotten it in the last few years.
Oh, that's
We
true.
don't
Yeah,
wanna
we
win.
don't
Yeah.
have a second. In fact, that's one of the rules. You can't win within 3 years or something.
Let me
Should
make
be.
myself a note for that. So I need to
It is, it
send.
should be.
Well, I think it was. It's I don't know what the number 3, 5, something like that. But if you won in the last X number of years, you can't win again this year. Yeah.
Okay. I will do that tomorrow. Okay. And hopefully I'll have good news for you at the same time about our speaker.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Great.
And
And your
then-
trip to Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you that because there's always people who come like the day after or the day after that and weird questions come up, or somebody didn't show up and they said they were sick and they want their money back, and I've got to close out Eventbrite, and there's some things that have to happen, but I'll either do them remotely or they'll wait till I return. I'm only going to be gone a few business days.
Yeah, right, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Then he'll take care of the refunds.
I'm glad,
Yeah, right, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Then he'll take care of the refunds.
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday, which is the day I come back.
I gotcha. All right, I think that's great progress. I really
Okay,
do.
good,
It's,
good.
Sounds terrific, thank you.
I think so.
All right. Couple of quick ones. I mean, you recently went to the city council, yes? And
I
told them
did
all about
last
it?
Tuesday.
Can you tell us what yeah?
I can tell
Yeah.
you, because I attended, and Kelly, I think she made the EDC sound wonderful.
Okay.
She did a really good job, and I really appreciated all of the nice summary of
The
all of the
handouts.
things that you've been doing. And Mike,
Watch it on YouTube. I believe I started at either 8 or 8:30. I can't remember which. And I was on for about 45 minutes. So if you go to the meeting on YouTube and just go to 8 o'clock, and then you can just inch forward until you find it.
You're right.
I warned you, I can't do it.
Yes,
More,
yes,
please.
yes.
What, did you have handouts at all?
I did.
Could you
I
send it to
did.
us?
I can do that.
So, thank you. Well, thank you for
And they were literally handouts.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's exactly what the report, the biannual report will be, except that the biannual report has a headline, an opening, charts and graphs and lists, essentially, with really no connectivity to make it into a report. But I just didn't have the time to do that. So
Gotcha.
It was good enough for me.
In that,
It's good.
was there the recommendation as to what our mission was as the EDC?
We
no.
were working on it.
No, but if you listen to the answers, Alderwoman Wilhelm was observing that how are we going to get to our 70-30 mix between commercial and residential if we continue to add more and more residential and multifamily? So we had a very brief discussion around that, and we talked residential and multifamily. So we had a very brief discussion around that, and we talked about, you know,
Some people
the
interpret
EDC
that as,
is needed to create that kind of balance so that we don't end up with going in the wrong direction and have too much residential.
some people want that to be a static rather than, some people want that to be a static rather than a dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, I guess something you and I talked about, which is, does the EDC represent more than just the Franklin Business Park?
Yeah, I did talk about that and said that that you guys had seen a draft of an update of the the policymakers believe to already be true, which is that the EDC has basically all of it. Oh, and in September, you're also going to have custom tool on your agenda. on your next meeting on September 27th, which is that agenda item. They are expanding, and it's another one of those approvals that you have to do, like you did with Vesta and.
Another lot in the park that they're taking over? Just
They're
expand on their site?
they're expanding and they're maximizing their expansion opportunities, so it's a one and done. So it's going to be a pretty big expansion. Regulo is working on all of the materials. It will be up to him. Expansion. Regulo is working on all of the materials. It will be up to him to have the materials to me in time to include it in the packet. I can't remember if there's a public hearing piece, but he will take care of all the timing issues, and if it doesn't happen till October, it doesn't happen till October. But that's coming down the, and if it doesn't happen till October, it doesn't happen till October. But that's coming down the pike.
Okay, and they're in the business park?
Yes. No, industrial park.
Industrial park.
But,
Okay.
so it's not yet resolved what we are responsible for officially.
Well, you're officially responsible for approving projects that. You're officially responsible for approving projects that need approval between planning and the plan commission and council.
Okay.
Outside. Just like the CBA has a business park, but right now there's no. But right now there's no. I can bring back the draft ordinance again. I won't change it because the
Right.
changes that I made it clear that the EDC is pretty much responsible for the whole city, but is in a support role
Okay.
to the function of economic development for the city, and feedback to help make me more effective at my job.
Okay.
So, and just like with the multi-view presentation, it's good to have a group think on that, and have a group of people who think that that's in the best interest of economic development for the city. And
Next meeting looks like September 27th. Do I have a motion to
Have it
adjourn?
adjourned.
Second.
Moved, second.
All right.